and we are, I think I want to make some gluten-free cookies. I haven't made any yet, but I think I can do it. So I'm going to let you come along. I don't know how to do this yet. I'll let you sit here, and then I'm going to hook you up into that thing there.
Check out this.
I have to turn this around. Hold on, I moved out of that spot. Sorry. Okay, yeah, now what? Oh, and this is Desmond's book.
Yeah,
See, we
it's
made
about
birch bark books.
Yeah.
We use those things they use on horse bridles. Two things. You can use a screwdriver on one side. And we were carving pictures.
Yeah.
Want to see mine?
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. So this is the back of the book. I just learned how to do it. So now I know how.
Now
I can.
put this
Does that look like an iris? I guess it might. In another world. And that's the flower. And see the natural volcano that's there? And there's another mountain up there. And there's some clouds. I figured out how to do it. Now I just have to figure out how to draw. Anyway, but right now this is a book I got online years ago. And it was like $1 a book or something. And the only way to get it was a file. And so I printed them out. And I made birch bark books. I thought, what better kind of a book cover to make than out of birch bark? Anyway, I did it online, so you can go look at it. That would be a birch bark book. Anyway, but they have this thing here, and I thought I would try and see if I could do that. So I got a bunch of reeds here, and I was going to start doing that, but then I thought about making cookies. So we're going to make cookies first. So, here we go. I've got a bowl, and I've got some. Well, let's start off the regular way, the way you usually make cookies, right? So you take coconut oil. Okay, so I hope this is how you do it. Okay, so that's about a half a cup of coconut oil, maybe 3/4. So these are going to be chickpea flour cookies. So how much coconut oil is that? I think it's about 3/4 of a cup. Maybe I can get a whole cup out of here, and then it would be easy to measure or tell you what the recipe is. Because I just usually drop it in and have no idea. Oh, you could tell? Okay, so you can't seem to see my face or what I'm doing, can you? It's not the ideal way. Okay, let's say that's a cup, okay? That's about a cup. And then you don't have to measure accurately. That is a fallacy. So we're going to put some peanut butter in there. So I'm going to not use that much. Maybe, no, I'm not going to use that much. I'm going to use about half a cup. Or half of the amount of the other. You grind it at the store. Peanuts. Okay, and then you blend them together now. This is going to be like, at the beginning of making cookies, you always take the butter and you blend it up with the sugar, right? You always do it that way. So, but the peanut butter and the butter together become the butter in the recipe, the oils. And so this is all very healthy oils, really healthy. Coconut oil is, it's the latest thing. You can't say enough about it. Now we're going to find out how it's destroying the coconut trees or something is going to. But anyway, sorry. You know how the palms, right? They use palm oil. Now you can't eat anything with palm oil in it because it's destroying all the environment to grow palms. Well, the same thing goes on with avocados. Did you know? You should watch some avocado videos on YouTube. It's unbelievable. I mean, there's the one by the Mexican government, which is like avocados are everything. But then there's the other one, which is where the drug cartels are now in big business of avocados. So and the way they got in big business is they're just leaning on the farmers to pay them. So I have to pay them enormous amounts of money. So I think they're making like $1.5 million a day. Like an avocado, they sell an avocado for $1. Well, they can't sell it for $1. Somebody, because we buy it for $1. I'll have to think about that. Oh, it's waiting for me. Okay, so here we've made our butter mixture. Now you always have sugar to the butter. And if you were making real cookies, you would just make equal parts of your fat and sugar or less sugar. So I'm not going to use that much. I'm going to use honey because I can't have sugar. Because sugar is poisonous. Hi.
Hi.
I'm making a video. So, but you don't need that much honey to sweeten that. Oh, it's very good. Now, you probably don't know this, but honey, if you buy it from the apiary this is very sweet. My goodness. I'll wash it off later. Okay, so if you buy it from the people that grew it, that have the honeybees, the apiary, then you know what's in it. Because you can ask them. And you can have pure honey. But did you know that they're one of those regulations? I don't know if it ever had a regulation or not, but there's a certain amount of corn syrup that an apiary can add to their honey and then sell it as pure honey. And it goes into this vat of all the producers. They all take, their gallon jar, which might not have been full enough, so they maybe put some high fructose corn syrup in, and then they have enough, and then they take that, and this all gets put into a vat. And from that vat, that is sold, and then you get the little bear shaped like a honeybee. Yeah, all the honey that's in that. So, and they don't have to say it. They don't have to tell you. It just says honey. Pure honey. There's video on that on YouTube. Very interesting. Okay, so then you mix these two together, your sugars and your oils, which in this case, if your memory is as good as mine, is peanut butter and coconut butter. And you can put, less peanut butter or more peanut butter, or you can just not use any coconut oil. You can just use peanut butter. Boy, have you ever had peanut butter and honey and powdered milk powder or dried milk powder? That's amazing stuff. Okay, so now for every half a cup of stuff, you need an egg. So I've got 2 half a cups, hence 2 eggs. Have you ever tried to break an egg with one hand? Let me show you. See what you learn when you come to my cooking classes? Okay, so you hold it with one hand, in the middle of your hand, and you break it on there. You turn it over, and then you gently push these fingers this way and your thumb that way. Maybe you have to turn it around, do it the other side. And then you, there you go, you see? I broke an egg with one hand, and my hand is not dirty. Let's check this out. Let's see how dirty my hand got. I got some on my thumb. I got this end of this finger stuck into the egg, so that one got dirty, but the rest of them, nope. These 3 are perfect, and that one's perfect. That's the only thing that got dirty. Oh, and maybe the back of my knuckle. Anyway, I thought you would want to know that. Things of importance. I only tell you things that are very, very important. Okay, like you didn't tell me that I have stuff on my face. That's okay. We're having an ice storm here. Otherwise, on a Sunday morning, I would be gone to church. But not today. So there was one egg. Let's try this with the other hand. You want me to get closer? You want to watch the process? Okay, you have to have it in the middle of your hand. And then you can do it like that, you see? And I don't think I got any on me that time. Let's check. Oh yeah, I got a little bit on that finger again. Anyway, there we have it. So now, if you have a whisk is really nice to use when you're doing eggs. Am I teaching you how to cook? I think there's a lot of people that don't know how to cook. So the only people that are going to teach you how to cook are people that cook. But I don't cook. I used to cook. Aren't you glad you came to have a conversation? Where's my whisk? Whiskey. Hey, you know I had a really amazing revelation yesterday. Oh, for years and years. When the dishwasher was used, it was my job when I was young to empty this stupid dishwasher. And you had the lid that you had to open up, and then you had to bend down inside of this. And you had to do the front, and then you had to bend way down, break your back. And then you pull the things out, and you had to wash everything first before you could put it in, or else you're going to have to wash it after, and it's going to be a lot harder because it's going to be hard as a rock. So, I never wanted to use the dishwasher. I decided, I like doing it with my hands because it takes no money to do it with my hands. We don't pay for our water. And it's also very clean water, and we have a good aquifer, and whatever else we need, we sure have it here. But so I wash them by hand. My hands get cleaner. I have time to stand there and meditate. Well, you know what? The other night I was up and I was cleaning the room, and my back was starting to hurt, and doing the dishes, it hurts right in the middle of your back. The place you can never reach. Yeah, right there. See? That's the place. Is that between your shoulder blades? Anyway, so it's the process of reaching out that puts that strain on that muscle. You gotta do core, tighten your whole core. And that'll maybe work. I don't know. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna stick all these dishes in the dishwasher. I'm not gonna bother washing them. And so I quickly stuck everything in the dishwasher, and I didn't have to stand there. That's why people use a dishwasher. I mean, it's not an ecologically friendly thing to do, I don't think, because it uses electricity. But then my water heater does too. But anyway, so I realized that that's why people use the dishwasher. It's because they don't want to stand there so long. So I have a very cool dishwasher. It's 2 layers, like there's 2 drawers. Have you seen it? Okay, so this here, that's the top drawer, and this is the bottom drawer. I mean, they come all the way out, but So I don't have to, you're plugged in, and if I am plugged in, I have to deal with all that again. Oh, wait a minute, you're turned around. Come on, turn around. Alright, so I'm going to beat it up. And you take your whisk and you go around the outside and you let your eggs go on the inside. And you just keep going around the outside. And every now and then you go across the inside. And you can go pretty fast if you're leaning it right against the bottom. And sort of the bottom and the corner in the in the bend. If it were a basket, it would be where the uprights and the bottom meet. Okay, so there you go. You've mixed that together nicely. So now you're ready for flour. And we're just going to pretend this is flour, because it is flour. And we're going to get some of this chickpea flour. Oops. Sputs. So it's going to need baking powder or baking soda. If we want them to be crisp, we'll use baking soda. If we want them to be like cake, we'll use baking powder. I think I want them to be crisp. we put our baking soda, and we'll mix it together with some of it. Okay, we don't have much in there. So we're just gonna mix that little bit in first. Okay? Mix it in well, because you want that baking soda mixed in everywhere. Or you could just put some in with your finger. Put in perhaps the right amount, which is about half a teaspoon per cup of flour, or a half a teaspoon per half a cup of butter and sugar or honey or whatever. I don't know what I just told you, but I don't think it was exactly wrong. Okay, so it's almost 3/4 of a cup. So this is a lot heavier than what I use. I can turn this over now so I can put you up in this thing. I'm gonna do surgery. Okay. Hi. So I would think church is canceled, eh? Didn't hear from them, but I would think. Mary Jane's is canceled all the way over there. But I haven't heard from anybody. But maybe none of our phones work. Check your email stuff. We need a light in this corner. A lamp. Wouldn't that be nice to have a lamp here? I wonder if I have a lamp. Good morning, Jacqueline Laster. Laster. Okay, so that's what that looks like. How about if we add some of this? You know, if you have animals and you want to have some beef or some pork and you want to do that, you butcher the animal and then the next year you use it. And so it's kind of like that when you buy expensive stuff like this. Okay, good. When you buy expensive stuff like this, the longer away it is that you spent the money, the less uncomfortable you feel about using it. How's that? For profound thoughts from Nancy. Well, sorry, this is peanut butter cookies. Peanut butter with, have you been here or did you just get here? So now you have to stop using this. So it's peanut butter with coconut oil, half a cup of each, and then two eggs for every half a cup of butter or oil that you use. So I used half peanut butter, half coconut oil. So for every half a cup you use, you have to add 1 egg. And it's flavored with honey instead of sugar. And then I put in about 3/4 of a cup of what was this? Chickpea flour. And I put in about half a teaspoon of baking soda. So there we are now. Now it needs to be thicker. You can't have it's too wet. So do we have another kind of flour here? How about, oat flour would be good. Let's use oat flour. Baking flour. What is this? Oh, this is millet flour. Oh, I love millet. Let's have some millet flour. Do you ever eat millet? You cook it just like rice. But you shouldn't eat it every single day. If you're not going to eat it every single day, then have at it, as they say. So How much more am I going to add? Let's try another 3/4 of a cup. Oh, that's easy. Easy peasy. You need a cup and a tablespoon of flour for every 1/2 cup of oil and an egg and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. This might be dangerous to make this. I am an addict. I am a cookie addict. That's why I gave up cookies. But this is not the same kind of stuff, so maybe it won't make me want to eat the whole thing. Oh no. I'm in for it. Oh, is that ever good? I'm adding a bit more of the millet flour. I think it's the chickpea flour that's so good. But it's probably raw, so it's probably terrible to eat it raw. Is it hard to digest raw? You know, you have all the... Is it digestible or is it indigestible? I know soybeans, you have to cook them before you eat them. But I don't know about millet. I mean, rice, do you have to cook it? Okay. Oh, and this stuff was chia and flaxseed powder. This maybe adds a really nice taste, a nice texture. Actually, there's going to be a lot of textures in this. I'll just add a bit more. So maybe I'm up to about 1/8 of a cup now. Now we have plenty of oils in it, so you don't need to oil your pan. If you were making crackers, which have no oil in them, then you'd have to oil your pan. Or if your cookies don't have much oil in them, like rolled cookies or something. Okay, so there we have it. Some of the coconut oil is not completely mixed in. So I'll get a pan. Smash. Okay, don't want the flour on there. Okay, and then if you take it and you roll it up into a log, then you can drop it. I think there's some raisins in this. I don't know how they got in there. But you know, that would be really good to add a lot of raisins. Want to add raisins? Do we have any raisins? Did I eat them all? Nancy, you've been eating all the raisins. You could add pumpkin seeds too. Hey, let's do that. I'm going to put in 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds. And I'm going to put in sunflower seeds. Put a 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds in. And let's see, what else? Do we have any? There's some raisins. Far back corner. Ha 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 ha. So put in about a 1/4 cup of raisins. You could put so much of this in that you didn't even have, you know, much to hold it together. Your sunflower seeds will turn green when you cook them. Isn't that cool? I think it's your sunflower seeds. Now maybe I should put all this other stuff back and just add it all together. Now it's pretty wet, so I think it's going to need some more flour. Let me see if I can get that. What have we got here? we have potato starch. Blech. I'm going to put that in. What else have we got back there? It's taking me a moment. Oh, I think it's way up high. The oat flour. I usually make oat cookies, you know. You could add things like ginger. Okay, so I'm going to add about that's 2/3 of a cup or 3/4 or something. Let's just add part of that. So your flour, you have to balance your oils, because if you have too much oil there and not enough flour, the whole thing will just melt on your pan. Or if you use sugar and you have too much sugar in the recipe, you see you have to have oil, sugar, and then an egg to bind them together. Well, it still feels oily. Sorry, it's not very light in there. Can't wait to eat these. Okay. There, I don't have as good a mirror, you know, this is what is important here. But we'll let it go for now. We'll just let it go. I won't want to make a big issue of it. You know what you can use to close things up? Well, those little black clips. So these things, so you just fold it over. You know the drill. And then you clip it. These are kind of strong. And then it doesn't fall apart. All of yours covered. Everything is back where we started, sort of. We just have to wait, 10 minutes, right? Timer, where's the timer? We'll start with 8 minutes, okay? We don't want to do it just in case. We don't want to overload the system. All right, now I get to eat it. Ha 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 ha. It's because it's a bean flour. That's why you're not supposed to eat it, right? Raw? It'll make you have gas. I'm going to grab it later. So I've been getting rid of poisonous things in my world. So you know how we've all heard about plastic and how it leaches and heat and cold and whatever else. But we justify it because we have our own reasons. We do what we want. Starting to taste like raw chickpea flour. But I can't stop myself. Oh, if I had a grandchild here who said, "Grandma, let me lick the spoon," I could let him. Oh my gosh. There's a grouse sitting right on top of one of those teepee poles. I don't know if I could show you or not. I could spend a lot of time trying. I think chickpea flour should be cooked. So we're going to find out later. This is our experiment. But you know, I also ate an apricot yesterday, a dried apricot. And those things will definitely give you gas. Terrible gas. Okay. How do we get on these subjects? Where do you get me talking about these things? It's all your fault. Your fault. Oh my gosh. So I cleaned the bathroom this morning. I really, really cleaned it. I cleaned the whole thing right down to the floor and all the baseboards all the way around it. It takes a long time for the water to warm up. So we're having an ice storm out there. I guess others of you are too. Anyway, I'm going to try and clean the cover here. See if you can see me and figure this out. Here, how's that? Look at that. I opened the cupboard and I saw it. I thought, oh. You know, I think it's important that we should keep things. I think, you know, like I keep these lid tops. You find reasons to use them. You find ways to use them. I think we should use them. Don't buy something else to use where you could use that. Like a twist tie if you have to go buy. Things like that. I think that also, you know, my tomatoes come in these little plastic containers. And also the tomato, or the cucumbers, they were in styrofoam trays with saran wrap over them. And I realized that I keep throwing these in the reuse, in the recycle. And supposedly, they're all going to get reused. They're going to get, I guess, what do you expect to be done with them? That they would be, the bat would all be washed. You get it up to a certain temperature, you add your soaps, you have this whole thing, and it would, just like an automatic dishwasher, only it would just do it via the whole thing. And then you would, of course this is not how it works. You know, and then if they ground it up, then they could make it into other things. Well, I think, you know, these 3D printers, like I don't really like the idea of 3D printers because it's just making more things out of plastic. But what if you could take your own? What if everybody had, you know, like you have an apple core peeler and you turn it, it's a little machine that you have at home. Well, what if you had something that was some little device you could put them all in and you push the button and it would chop all the plastic up into little tiny bits. And then you could put it, you could even make it into a powder. And then you would pour it into your 3D printer and you could make what you want. Or, I think I'm going to start collecting those. I'm going to have little stacks of all the same thing. I'm going to collect all the, if I ever go get, I don't go to McDonald's and stuff, but they put it in paper bags. But I keep the paper bags. When somebody has a paper bag, I put them and fold them up and put them away. And if you need to put something in something, you have a paper bag right there. You have to go buy a pack of paper bags. I don't think people are thinking how to do it. They're just thinking. It was something I was seeing on Facebook, and they were saying like cloth diapers. They said, there's no way I'm putting that in my washing machine. And I just thought, lady, wake up. Do you eat meat? Get chickens. Raise chickens. You're fine. Do you change what you're going to put in your washing machine? Anyway, because your clothes get dirty because you're in the chicken barn and they get crap on your feet. Anyway, the whole thing is, but you know, people are not necessarily close to the earth. You know, they've forgotten or they never knew that the earth is feeding us, the earth is clothing us, and the earth has the animals, and we're part of the system. We're on the food chain. We are on the food chain. We're not an independent species of civilized human beings. You know, like we are an animal, a mammal, just like there's other ones. You know, we have a great intelligence. We make all kinds of creations of our own design. We're very smart. And now this generation is finding really smart ways of doing things, like how to suck the CO2 out of the atmosphere or something like that, you know, different things. I guess they've got to hurry because there's a turning point, and after that, I don't know if sucking any out of the atmosphere will help. I didn't turn it on. Look, I think they're ready. I think you've waited long enough. See, you can tell they're ready because now this is on at 350, and you can tell they're ready. Guess that doesn't help you see because the edges are brown. See how some of the edges are starting to brown? And if you touched one, I imagine that you could put your finger in it and it'll leave a slight indentation in the top. See? And it comes back. But so the bottoms of these are going to be crisp. These are going to be awesome. This is going to be so amazing. So now you don't want to use a metal to scrape your pan. This is one of those Baker's Secret pans or something like that. So you can also now you can put them on a flat surface, and I like to put them on a towel because then I know it's clean, so I haven't got to disinfect the surface. And it also absorbs whatever you would be absorbing if you had it on a cooling rack. Some of the heat. It's very important not to use metal on these pans because when you scratch it, they no longer are you know, slide offable. Slide offable? Yes, it's in my dictionary. Okay, Google. What's the definition of slide offable?
On the website yourdictionary.com, they say, slide off, verb, to fall off a surface with a sliding or slipping movement, usually because the surface is inclined. Make sure your cup doesn't slide off the tray.
It's supposed to be slide offable. Okay, Google.
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that, but I found something else. Do you want to know what is the synonym of slide?
The what?
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that yet.
Okay, thank you for trying. She's made an effort. I mean, what more could you want? I was thinking about these smart devices. Did any of you read the book 1984? I think we had to read it at one point. Well, let me tell you about 1984. There was this book about the future. It was written in 1930 or something. Or maybe not. Okay, Google. When was the book 1984 written?
1948.
1948. So it was just after the war. So people were fresh on their mind was the way it was after Hitler, all that stuff. Anyway, so in this book, you've got your television sees you and it watches you, and you're not allowed to turn it off. And everywhere you go, there's cameras and you're being watched all the time. And if you fall out of line, they'll come and get you. And so, I was thinking about my Echo Dot, you know, the OK Google over here. I was thinking about how
I see.
just thinking about how it's all very similar. You know, this connectability of all things, and having a smart television. That's a really amazing thing. I love my smart television. It's so much better than regular television. It's like you have a laptop. I mean, everything is just so neat. All these smartphones. But, and Google Dot, you know, or Echo Dot. It's amazing that we have these things, but what if the wrong leadership got in? What if it became important to someone to find out who are not on their side? I mean, that's what happened with the Jews, right? Any kind of ethnic cleansing is, you know, first you have to cast the other person into a very bad light. You show them as degenerate over and over. You make comments like that. And so they start to realize that these people are pretty bad. And then, you know, gotta get armed. And the next thing you know, there's ethnic cleansing going on. And that's what happened back with the World War II, right? They ethnic cleansed the Jews right out of the place. So, and I just I don't think that we're very safe when we surround ourselves by things that have that kind of connectivity. This is so clean in here. Wow. Too much juice, not enough olives. I'm glad that they're starting to use glass containers again. I remember back when they used, like this one's glass. I remember when I was growing up, it was all glass, and it was like this big deal that they had now made this plastic. And I remember how it was advertised on television, like Heinz ketchup was one of the first ones, and how, you know, you have this child going up and grabbing it, and it slips out of his hands, and first you see it, and it breaks everywhere, and then another one, then pick it up and it bounces, you know. And so they got us thinking that, you know, Heinz was better than the other one because, you know, they came in a plastic container and it wouldn't break. So we thought that was wonderful. Yay. I had no idea. I had no idea. But, you know, we save paper bags and rubber bands. And we used real things like string. You tie a package with string. You didn't have all this fancy plastic tape. But the string held it. You didn't need to have any tape. And you could make the string. You could go outside and get your flower leaves when they're done. Make it yourself. Of course, only basket makers would have known that and done that. But further back than that, you know, hey Willem, did you see your cupboard here? Oh, he's not. Are you up, Willem? Did you see the cupboard here?
What's that?
Did you see this cupboard here?
See the cupboard here.
Yeah. I'm going to show you the cupboard. I'm also going to show them. Look. There is your cupboard.
Whoa.
I didn't clean the surface. I cleaned the surface of mine. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. So what happened to all the stuff in there?
Oh, it's all stuffed up in here.
Oh, yeah, those cans. That's right.
I figured this is not the way it's supposed to go. And now you have to come see this bathroom. I don't think the bathroom has ever been this clean. Well, now I didn't do the bathtub yet, so that's sort of a,
Okay,
you know. And someone didn't flush the toilet. We'll have to fix that up. Make sure that. Okay, so now we have only a few things up there that we need. And I washed the floor all the way around the edge. I took everything out. I put all those jars there. And back here, I have this nice, this nice thing here. What is that called? You know. And I put everything, all the other things in there, and then I have my bird seed here so I could feed birds. That goes there. Oh, this is supposed to come out of there, and this was supposed to come out of there. There, and so you see, then we have, and I washed the mirror. Isn't that lovely?
Mm-hmm.
So it's perfectly clean now.
Right, no.
Yep, you can open and close it. Oops, you have to move that just a bit. There we go.
So I had two things here that I'm missing now.
All right, well, they're probably on the other side. Oh no, they're here. They're down here. I wasn't sure if you were using those currently, those two and that, or if they could stay in your drawer. Anyway, I will talk about it when I'm not on live video. Hi, Maya. Goodbye.
You did quite a job there, darling. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for noticing. And now, ta-dum. Let's see, what am I going to do? Show you now. So, I put them in. So how long do they leave? Oh, see, they're starting to turn brown already. Usually when you start to smell them, they're getting done. See, now it depends how much you want it to hold its shape. So if you don't want it cooked as much, you could take it out now. But I think because it's chickpea flour, well, I don't know. Let's try one of these. Look at that, perfectly brown on the bottom. There's that flaxseed stuff, and there's the pumpkin seeds and the sunflower seeds. This is definitely a keeper. It's dry though, so I'm going to take the other ones out now. Oops, we're supposed to be looking that way. And that one's not quite as dry. They're done. Anyway, we'll try one and see how, oops. I guess they do fall apart. You need to add another egg if you're not using regular gluten flour. Okay. There we go. Let's go sit somewhere and eat. I made gluten-free cookies, Will.
Oh, thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Should I try one?
You may. Oh, we have to have a fire too. And what's the temperature out there?
It's kind of mildish.
It's kind of mildish. That has to do with the freezing rain. Can't see my sign. It says, make the stumble part of the dance. Now, some people are talking. Let's go back here. Umar Sadiq, hello. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Fine. Patricia, hi, Patricia. A rose for me. The church is doing a worldwide young adult devotional today. I'm excited. That's kind of cool. Maybe we'll watch it. We can't go anywhere. Good morning. Making me want peanut butter. Did you have some? You just got here. Does chickpea flour taste much different than regular wheat flour? Yes, it's got a flavor. Hi, Lois. So, are you folks getting a snow day today? On top of the ice pellets and freezing rain? Mostly, I don't know how thick the ice was, but it's pretty solid under that snow, I would think. I never realized how many beech trees we have around the house. The beech ones, they keep their brown leaves in the winter. These are really good cookies. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Look at Sammy. Wow, it was 70, now it's 45. We had that thing a few days ago too, where it was, well, what was it? It was like +7 and it went down to -20. I just show that the contrast, not the similarity. I wonder if all these storms we're having are like God putting an exclamation point to the how-to instructions. I like having pictures on the walls. These cookies are amazing. I wonder how many calories are in a cookie. So, there's probably, other than the eggs, I think an egg is 100 calories. Peanut butter is 100 for a tablespoon.
Hey, the cookies, they're ready. I want one. Finally, they're ready. Wait, what?
This has got all kinds of stuff in it. This is an amazing kind of cookie.
What about the peanut butter ones?
There's peanut butter and coconut oil, an egg,
What is
and
this?
honey. That's a sunflower, a pumpkin seed.
No. No. And raisins.
Mm-hmm. And sunflower seeds. Is it good?
No.
And it's sweetened with honey. I don't think it's going to make you wild. I'm sitting here watching it snow. No, not near the wood stove. It could burn. playing peekaboo. Peekaboo. You know what I was thinking? I found a picture of my grandmother, my great-grandmother, Celinda Stauffer. Over there is a picture of my grandmother, Georgie Kenyon, and up there's a picture of my mom, Jane Jarvis. And so, if I had a picture of me, and then my mom, and then my grandma, and then Celinda Stauffer, now I wonder who her mother is. I wonder if I have any pictures of that. And my mother and father took most of my grandmother's stuff. But Aunt Virginia also has pictures of. Well, I wonder if my cousin has pictures of my. Hi, Des. Of her mom. Anyway, I was thinking how nice it would be if I arranged them all on the wall. What if I did like a family history wall? How are the cookies?
Great.
They good enough to have two? There's no sugar in them. And there's no flour in them. Oh, don't think they'll make you wild. Could you bring me another one, please? Thank you. Anyway, what do you think of that idea? I find that grandmothers' houses often have photos on the walls. And they have their pictures on the tables, All these family pictures here and there.
Here.
Thank you so much.
One's for me.
Thank you.
That one's already been bitten.
Who did it?
Maya?
Was mine down here?
Yeah, Maya.
You gave me incorrect information really quickly there, Desmond. I don't think Maya has been there. I think it was you, but you don't want me to know. You were trying to lead me off trail. You can see way out there. I'm sorry it looks so bad. I was trying to make a roof over my downstairs deck. Just by putting boards across the corner and then putting more boards on top. And it worked. There's not snow on the deck down there. Of course, it was raining and thawing. Then it all came through. I guess if a bear stepped on it, it would fall down. That would be a bear trap. Because it's only supported on 3 sides. So there's nothing that goes all the way to the far corner. If it was the 4-sided, it's like a triangle that's just supported as a triangle. Well, some of the boards are too long. They go that way, but I tried to make sure they were balanced so that most of the weight was on this side. But if a bear was climbing the tree and jumped on there, or a raccoon. No, raccoon. I don't think he's heavy enough. I know they are. They're pretty big. I told you what they did, right? There was this terrible fighting sound of raccoons outside. And they fight like cats. Sort of. I got out there. I have this outdoor bathtub. Well, I have a, when you do the plumbing of your house and put a cold water tap outside, you can put a hot water tap outside. There's no rule that you can't. You can. So I put a hot water tap outside. So I have hot water and cold water that go out to the bathtub. kind of fun to take a bath in the snow, especially when it's snowing. You have to stay right down under the water, but the snow is hitting you on the face, and it's pretty cold out. I mean, it's freezing out, but your water's hot. If all you put in is hot water, and then when it's almost full, when it runs out of hot water and suddenly the cold water is coming out instead, that's when you just test the temperature and you stir it and you make sure that it's not any colder than you want. Make it sure it's hot as you like. Then you stop. And so then you have all this hot water. And that way you don't end up filling the bathtub up with water that cools off too quickly or something. But you need to use cold water for things like watering your plants when you're gardening. Those were really good cookies. This is a cookie show, isn't it? So I used low power mode. So I used oat flour, flax and chia seeds, and chickpea flour, coconut oil, honey, and egg, and baking soda. And that's all I used. It was pretty good, eh? But now, where'd you go? Chia flaxseed powder, that's pretty expensive. I mean, you could probably grind your own. Yeah, that would be really cheap. I used to have a wheat grinder, but I got rid of it because mice got in it. So, it was a sealed thing. So I could get another wheat grinder one day. And I could grind up my own stuff, like chia seeds and flax seeds. Oh, thank you. So they passed the test, do they? Can you give one to Mom?
Okay.
And one to Maya, please?
Okay.
And tell her that there's only healthy stuff in it and there's no sugar.
I already told Maya that.
Is she having one already?
No.
However, I think my stomach may be full. That's the trouble with eating too much, is then you fill up your stomach, and when it's full all the way, it takes a long time for it to empty enough that you can eat again. You know why I ended up losing weight? I think it's because I did yoga. And once I did yoga, I was able to see where in my body the pain was. Where the muscles didn't work very well, which joints didn't work very well. I was able to work on them. And as I was working on them, I was finding out that certain foods were making my body hurt. So it was because I was working on my muscles and my legs and my knees. And then I discovered, well, maybe I should give this up. And I did. And then I was still having this other kind of pain. The Novocaine wasn't working, the lidocaine that a doctor was giving me. I was getting pain blockers in my back. They were so painful. They were terrible. It took days for it to stop hurting. Then you'd come back and it would say, how much better did you feel? 10, 9, or what percent better? Come here now. They didn't have negative numbers, so something was wrong. Anyway, so he told me to go gluten-free, that was causing inflammation in my body, which was causing it to hurt. And so I did. And then the weight was just coming off. Because you gotta substitute. You gotta have really good food to substitute with. This is my first time trying to make something like this, a gluten-free thing. This was a success. Oh, and millet. Oats, millet, and chickpea flour. And on my tongue, it feels a little bit coarse. It feels very real, very natural. It doesn't smell the same. It smells kind of like hay. I'm honest. I think they're quite filling. I think my stomach is swelling up with them. I wonder if you were to soak your chickpea flour first. And let it swell up a bit. Then make it. You know, it would be fun to use sprouts, add sprouts to things. Good morning, Jack. So you're in Australia? Is it tomorrow afternoon there already? Or you're in the Midwest? Are you getting this storm too? Hey, did they name it? I liked them. They named the first one, what was it, Gail, and then Henry. What's this, Isabel? Oh, that's been used. Ice cream. Oh, UK. Hi, Des. Been watching you. You were busy. Where were you doing? Where are you going?
Nowhere?
Are we going to have another cookie?
No. I'm way full.
You're way full. How many do you think you had?
5.
5.
I did have
I had probably 5 or 6 too.
No, I had 3.
I had brought 4 out here, and then you gave me 2 more. I'm very full. That's the most healthy thing he's eaten ever. I think there's more nourishment in those cookies than dinner any day of the week. They were really good for you. Next thing you know, everybody's going to be staying healthy. But you know, I think everybody kind of is staying healthy. Anyway, I guess we did our job. We finished making this, so I guess we should say goodbye. So, goodbye. You can do this at home. Results may differ. But you remember, you saw it here last. Go make some